Hello there, and welcome to day 88 of the 100 Days Python Programming Challenge. And the topic for today is template inheritance. Do you know that Flask template inheritance allows you to define a base template with common HTML structure and reuse it in your child template, ensuring consistency and reducing redundancy across multiple pages? Are you excited? It's day 88, 2 more days, day 90, and 12 more days, and this is over. Day 88. Hello there, and welcome back. Today's a very exciting topic because I touched on it yesterday, and I was like, I'll go into full details today. And I believe when I first introduced Ginger 2, I got a comment about template inheritance. I was like, let me make a video, let's talk about it, and that is today. And the challenge is almost over. I kind of feel sad and happy at the same time, but I'm glad it's almost over. And I'm also sad that it's almost over. I just explained whatever. So today is template inheritance in Flask, and template inheritance is a feature in Ginger 2 template engine that allows you to create a base template that provides a consistent structure for your entire web pages. So you have a base template and you use that base template in all of your elder templates, or you choose where you want to use that template. If you don't want to use it in all, you are able to choose that this is where I want to use this base template and this is where I don't want to use it. So it helps to provide a consistent structure, and by using inheritance, you avoid repetition. Instead of repeating that code in every single HTML file, you don't have to do that. And this helps you to manage your template and also to make it more efficient. So for consistency and easy to update. So imagine you want to update something. You just have to make that change in your base template and it affects everywhere else. But if you have the repetition code in every single template, imagine you then have to go to every single template to update. So that's also the reason why we use the base template. So the first thing, as usual, let's organize our files. So I would have first my app.py file, and then I would have my template folder and my static folder. We've not used JS so far because we've not had to use it, so we're also not using it today. So I have my template, and in my template, I would have three files. I would have my base.html, I would have my home.html, and I would have my about.html. And then I would have my static, and in my static, I have to bring this out, it's not in the template, it is on its own. Then I would have my CSS folder, and in my CSS folder, I would have my style.css. So we're working with more template file today. We have our base, our home, and our about. So now let's set up our base template. So it would have the block that I spoke about, the block title, and would also have our block content and our end block. So let me show you the code for our base.html. So this is a placeholder for the page title. And if there are no child templates to override the title, then the default, this is our default title, will be used. And then our block content and our end block, these are placeholder for the main content of the page. So think of it that this is a page, we have our header, we have our footer, and then we want to add more content in our main. But then our more content comes from other pages. So these are placeholders for the main content of the page. And as usual, we have our URL to our style.css. We see that here we have our navigation bar. This is navigation to home, and then navigation to the About Us page. So then our first template will be our home.html. And since this already has all this, the head, the body, and so on and so forth, I don't need to have it in my home.html. I will just extend my base.html, and then I will put all the things that I want to use to override this. So you can see first we have this title. I would like to override this title. So instead of Flax app, I would then have home because this is my home. So home instead of Flax app. So this would override what we have here. And then we see that we have this block content. So I still want to keep the navigation that we see here. And then I want to override this. So inside this, I'm going to put in my content. And this is how I'll do it. So I'll have my block content and my hand block, but in between them, I will then have the content that I want. And it can be as long as you want. You can put different div, different anchor tag, buttons, whatever your art desires. This extend base.html indicates that this template inherits from the base.html, and this block title replaces the title block with home, and then the block content replaces the content block with custom HTML for the home page. So what happens when we render the page? Flask will render the base.html, and when it encounters a block tag, it checks if a child template has overridden the block. And if there's an override, for example, there's an override in our home.html, it will then use the child template content. But if there's no override, it will use the default. And then the final HTML, the final thing that you see on your website is the base layout and the overridden block. I hope you got that. So then this is our home page. Let's go to our about.html. Remember we have this about.html. It's the same process as we did the home. First, I want to extend the base.html, and then I want to put a title because we have the block title. So the title for this one will be about. Remember, if there's no title, it will take the default in our base, which is Flax app. And then the block content, I just want to put an H2 tag and then a paragraph tag that this is the about us section. So we have our templates done. We have our base template, we have our home template, and we have our about template. So the next thing that we have to do is to create our Flask application. So again, we would have to import Flask, and then we're only working with render template today. So we would use import Flask and also render templates. That's all we're doing. We didn't really do anything serious that we have to import. We're just rendering templates. So then I would have two functions. I would have my home function, which is the default, and then I would have my about function. And what they're just basically doing is to render the home and the about template. That's all. But you would see that when we eventually run, you will see that there will be so clear similarities between the home and the about. And it's because they both share the base template. And then I'll just add a bunch of styles into my style.css. I'm adding styles for the header, the navigation, and the footer. And I believe that is it. So let's run this. Python app.py. And see, this is what we have. We have our title, My Flags app, that comes from the base.html. See, we have our header here, and we have our navigation for home and about. You should check out previous videos to see how we do the URL and also I spoke about it in previous video. So you see that our home.html shares that template from our base.html. And if we go to about, you see we would have the same header. And we also have the same footer, say 2025 Flags app. If I go to about, see similar things. So this is how you help to keep your web pages dynamic by using template inheritance. And if I want to change something in the header, I don't have to go to the home, I don't have to go to the about. I just change it in the base.html, and the changes reflect on every single page that I have extended the base.html to. So this is how we're able to do template inheritance in Flask. Let me know if you have any question, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you have any questions. The link to the code is in the description to my GitHub. Download it, try it out, and let me know if you have any question. See you tomorrow.